Matt Wadsworth, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I believe the traditional real estate agent can fail, and many times does fail, his or her clients. Well, regretfully, what the public doesn't know about this industry is that no one truly, really, in my opinion, represents the buyer. And that is a regrettable fact about how the current industry is structured. And let me explain. When a seller of real estate hires a real estate agent to sell their house, they sign a certain document that allows the agent to publish that piece of property on the multiple listing service. And there are a number of those. It's actually a franchise. And they just encompass a geographical area. There's actually a great number of those in Utah. There's one in more Summit County. There's one, the same one services Weber, Davis, Salt Lake. There's another one in Utah County. There's another one in St. George. And so, although a real estate agent can service you in any one of these, the right to be paid, it actually comes through the MLS system itself. It is not just simply the agent's license that gives them the ability or right to get paid in a transaction. And that listing, it's called an input form, an MLS input form, also outlines the structure for how the agents will be paid. And there is a buyer's agent and there is a listing agent. The seller, the seller's agent or in brokerage will pay the selling agent, who actually represents the buyer, so don't confuse yourself. There's the listing agent who represents the seller. There is the seller's agent who represents the buyer. Okay, and the seller's brokerage will actually pay both. And one of the reasons in one of my other videos that I talked about why I'm getting into this industry is that I have simply seen and been involved from a litigation standpoint in too many transactions where they closed and a transaction never should have been closed. And what I'm getting at here is that simply there is no agent, generally speaking, that is stopping a transaction. There's actually CLEs, there's continuing education, there are seminars wherein agents are coached on how to literally push people to close and close a transaction. Naturally speaking, there's a huge financial incentive today to close a transaction. 3% or 6%, more appropriately, on a $500,000 transaction is $30,000. That is an insane amount of money. And there is quite simply just a conflict of interest, in my opinion, that too many real estate agents simply just do not follow their ethical responsibilities. And in this way, too many agents simply fail their clients. And as an attorney, and also as a realtor, there is no transaction that I can ever push you or would push you into closing. Okay, I just want you to be taken care of. I want you to be happy. I want your family to be happy. And I want you to come back to me and keep coming back to me. I think everyone should be represented by an attorney at every closing. What happens at closings where people simply are not represented? There are too many closings where even the real estate agents don't show up. In fact, that would be the norm. In which case you have a buyer and a seller and they are talking to an escrow or a closing agent at a title company who isn't going to tell them much of anything. Okay? And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to get the added value of having that attorney by your side who can go through the documents with you, make sure that there's nothing out of the ordinary, and that can give you proper counsel in that regard.